A lot of people are chasing zero cortisol because they believe stress is the one thing keeping their belly fat stuck. And they are not completely wrong. When cortisol stays too high, too often, at the wrong times, it can become part of why visceral fat is so hard to move. But here is the correction that actually matters. You need cortisol to wake up, focus, train, and respond to real demands. The problem starts when your body stops using cortisol like a tool and starts living in it like a background condition. That is when the waistline gets weird. You're eating less, you're trying harder. Maybe the scale moves a little, but the fat around your midsection still looks defended, almost like your body is protecting that area on purpose. In a way, it is. Visceral fat is not just listening to calories. It is listening to stress signals, recovery, blood sugar swings, and how often your system feels pressed for energy. So what keeps cortisol elevated enough, often enough, to make visceral fat hang on? And what tells the body it is finally safe to let go? Here is the loop. When daily pressure stays high, sleep is poor, or food intake keeps swinging between restriction and overcorrection, cortisol tends to stay in the conversation longer than it should. Not always at panic levels, just often enough to keep the system leaning toward coverage instead of release. That matters because cortisol does not work alone. It can push the body toward more glucose output, make appetite or cravings feel less predictable, and keep the whole system a little more defensive than the calorie math alone would suggest. And visceral fat sits right in the middle of that. This is where cortisol can stop acting like a useful short-term tool and start behaving more like a keep fat signal. It is metabolically active tissue. In many people, it is more closely tied to stress, inflammation, and insulin resistance than fat stored anywhere else. This is why generic advice often fails. Eat less, add more cardio, push the fast longer, train harder. Each move sounds logical in isolation, but if those moves also keep cortisol elevated or make recovery worse, they may reinforce the exact environment that keeps visceral fat defended. That is why some people get lighter without looking leaner. The midsection still hangs on. The issue is not always effort. Sometimes the effort itself is arriving in a form the body keeps reading as pressure. Trap 1. Piling on more medium-effort cardio when your system already feels strained. A long jog can feel productive, but if recovery is already shaky, that extra volume may act less like a fat loss signal and more like one more demand the body has to cover. Trap 2. Stretching your fast deeper every time progress stalls. Fasting can help, in the right context. But if sleep is poor, protein is low, and daily pressure is already high, a longer fast may push the system further into compensation. If you feel wired, cold, or obsessed with food by late afternoon, that is a clue, not a character flaw. Trap 3. Treating broken sleep like a side issue. If you wake up restless, alert, or hungry in the middle of the night, that matters. If your waist looks puffier after bad sleep, that matters too. That is the pattern, and the answer is not to care less. It is to change the signals. You do not need zero cortisol. You need fewer reasons for your body to keep acting like the alarm is real. The first lever is post-meal muscle use. A brisk 10 to 15-minute walk after your largest meal gives glucose somewhere useful to go. It works better here than piling all your effort into one more long cardio session later. Because this timing helps calm the traffic when the meal is still fresh. Your muscles help pull some of that traffic out of the bloodstream, which may reduce how hard the system has to respond after eating. If walking is not an option, stairs, a slow bike, or even a short indoor loop works. Many people notice a smaller energy crash and less afternoon heaviness within a day or two. After 1 to 2 weeks, the appetite tends to steady out, and that tight, puffy midsection feeling starts to ease. This is not a fat loss switch. It is a better signal. The second lever. Stop turning every stall into a reason to eat less. If your sleep is shaky, your training feels flat, or you feel wired by late afternoon, do not push the fast longer. Start by making the day more predictable. For the next 1 to 2 weeks, keep meals consistent. Make protein a clear priority at each one. Stop treating hunger as proof the plan is working. The goal is not to feel less immediately. The goal is to make the day feel safer and more predictable, so the system stops reading every stall as a reason to clamp down harder. A common early win: fewer late-day cravings. A longer sign: less rebound eating at night. This works by changing the conditions your body reads, not by forcing restriction hard enough to win. The third lever: protect the last 90 minutes before sleep. Keep lights lower. Stop problem solving. Skip late hard training. Give dinner enough substance so you're not going to bed half-fed and overstimulated. That matters because a rough night does not just hurt sleep. It often makes the next day more reactive, hungrier, and harder to regulate. Many people fall asleep with less mental friction when this window gets quieter. Over 1 to 2 weeks, many people notice fewer middle-of-the-night wake-ups and calmer mornings. Better sleep does not just improve energy. It may also reduce how often your body wakes up expecting another emergency. None of these moves work by forcing fat loss on command. They work by lowering the background pressure that keeps visceral fat feeling defended in the first place. One important nuance: if your waistline changed quickly, or if you're dealing with severely broken sleep, heavy snoring, rising blood pressure, medications, menopause, thyroid issues, or known insulin resistance, this story may be bigger than stress alone. Stress chemistry may still be part of it, but it may not be the whole picture. That is where guessing gets expensive. For a lot of people, the shift starts earlier than they expect, not when they find the perfect fat loss plan, but when they stop stacking signals that make the body feel cornered. Your body is not refusing to lose visceral fat out of spite. It may be defending it because the environment you are living in still feels too demanding, too unpredictable, or too loud. Lower the pressure. Steady the inputs. The system often becomes easier to work with. So do not chase zero cortisol. Chase fewer false alarms. If one part of this hit home, tell me in the comments which trap shows up most in your life right now. Extra cardio, deeper fasting, or broken sleep. That is usually where the real starting point is.